Not bad, Spartan. I'm almost starting to believe the propaganda.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Halo Campaign Evolved, a remake that honestly doesn't feel very evolved at all. Then boy, this is going to be a bit of an awkward video to make, because I initially thought this remake was going to be good, so I even requested a key, which surprisingly, Xbox provided. I usually request keys from major releases, just to see if it works, like if I get it, cool, if I don't, whatever. And for the first time ever, Xbox actually provided me with one, and early at that, so I was like, hey, nice, easy W, it's a win-win-win situation. I get a free key for the first Halo's remake, which is a game that I played before and enjoyed, you guys get a nice video or two which I was going to present differently, more focused on the story, and Xbox gets some good PR, because there's no way that you can screw up a remake of a 2001 game. Right? Especially a game that kind of was already remade before and people complained about it, and so it's kind of easier to guide your direction in the second remake, right? But then I started playing the game and that idea quickly fell apart, and that's when the game worked. The more I played it, both the worse and the best it got. See, the story gets better and better. That's my favorite aspect of the first Halo game. It's also the one thing that will always hold up a remake of a game like this. But the visuals, the gameplay, the presentation, and oh my god, the bonus content with a new prequel campaign? Oof. It kept making it feel more and more like I was doing a chore rather than enjoying a new game. And it shows bad signs for the future of Halo at the hand of the newly rebranded Halo Studios. And so instead of an easy triple W for all of us, we have ourselves a situation where only you guys are going to get a win out of seeing me struggle to find the words to make sense out of why does this remake feel so poorly executed and so unnecessary to begin with, while at the same time it's still being the first Halo game, a story that everyone should play at least once. This one is especially complicated because there's a whole crowd of PlayStation people out there who don't really have any other alternative to play this game, or sort of. We'll be getting into that angle later as well. But without further ado, let's just jump right in there. Originally, when Bungie made Halo Combat Evolved all the way back in 2001, there was meaning to the name. It's because they evolved first-person combat as we knew it, especially from the perspective of a console where previously it felt awkward to play first-person shooters with a controller. Something was missing, and OG Bungie came along and revolutionized it. Many of the things they introduced all the way back then are still being used in FPS games today. It set itself aside from everyone else and genuinely earned that title. It was truly a significant game, one that I sadly missed growing up because I was too busy playing GTA games and Tony Hawk.
Tanks. Oh, look at these tanks. Damn, look at these tanks.
So when the newly rebranded Halo Studios, aka 343, goes ahead and calls this remake Halo Campaign Evolved, I thought, oh shit, are we going to get some new revolutionary thing going on with the story? Is it going to change some elements or add new stuff like what Final Fantasy VII did? Is it going to include some new elements in the campaign that evolve it in some way? Like, will there be something special to the cinematography or just something, anything at all? And yeah, none of that happened. The name was really just a name, probably came together by some bored people in a meeting room looking for a clever way to name the game, instead of just calling it a remake. Maybe some dude went, how about we call it Campaign Evolved because we're not doing multiplayer, so it's like, just a campaign. Some other board team lead or executive went, you know what, fine, fuck it, that'll work I guess. because there's nothing evolved about this game's campaign or its combat or anything really. And while it is a remake, it's not like a remake. It feels more like 343 just dumped a bunch of Halo assets from across the franchise into Unreal Engine 5, made a few tweaks here and there, added a few complementary cutscenes, replaced art direction with photorealism, which is stupid, colorized it like Halo Infinite, and then to tie it all together, threw in some diverse characters to make sure that the UNSC looks fit for a 2026 game release. The visuals are the one thing that pops the most, and even then there's a bunch of issues due to the art direction, inconsistencies that clash with the original's design, and changes that come across as laziness, such as assets that were just reused from previous 343 games. Things that don't even fit and feel like they're here because they wanted to save time and money instead of producing a worthwhile remake, and that's what I picked up on. Because then there's things that I will undoubtedly miss since I'm not a Halo bro. I only ever played Combat Evolved with the Master Chief Collection. I dabbled in some of the others, but it was a long time ago now and none of it really stuck with me. So I may as well be a Halo baby at this moment. One of the things that personally bothered me about this is the Forerunner structures across the ring, both the ones outside and the ones on the ground. In the original, the style was very different from the remake, and the more I played through this, the worse and worse I felt about it. It just looked so damn generic. It was just a bunch of shiny metal plates all over the damn place. It doesn't give interesting sci-fi, it gives lame generic sci-fi, and it's only made worse by classic Unreal Engine 5 issues when it comes to the lighting and reflection. But we'll get to that in a bit. The original game had this much more interesting atmosphere around the ring and different take on the Forerunner architecture. They looked like these massive ancient structures, aged, worn out, nothing particularly fancy about them, just functional, and that blended really well with the natural environment of the ring. Probably deliberately with a motivation to hide it, or at least disguise it. They even looked like they were cut straight from the stone in some cases, but then mixed together with sci-fi elements. It was an awesome blend of nature and futuristic sci-fi elements, but instead of the neon 2077 kind, it's more like an old piece of advanced tech left behind thousands of years ago. Again, aged and worn out, and the interiors were simplistic, elegant, and clean. It went hand in hand with the religious significance that we hear about over the radio talk. Some of you who've been around the channel long enough will know how much I like megastructure fiction, and Halo had a bit of that built into it. Now I understand that in future games, the design of the Forerunner structures changed a bit. This is the first thing that I was pestered with by campaign Evolved defenders the moment that I complained about the look of the new ones in the remake. But the thing is, I thought this was a remake of the first game. Am I missing something here, fellas? The first game had a specific tone and atmosphere that it was trying to portray. Can't believe I'm even explaining this. I feel stupid having to address these kinds of things, but it is what it is, I guess. For example, the second and third games gave more relevance to Master Chief, while in the first one he was just really a big alien killing machine for us to embody.
One of the keys to the success of the story is we didn't pump a lot of time into figuring out who the Master Chief was and why he was a ghost in the shell. We thought he is a husk. He's a big green suit of armor that you move around.
Master Chief is human. He's not a machine. He's not a set of armor with a big weapon. He's a human with resilience.
So yeah, no shit, things change from game to game. But as a remake of the first one, you should be remaking it exactly as intended, rather than taking lazy liberties that drastically change the way things look and consequently feel. Also, if something looks boring, then it looks boring. That's it. It's bad design. If they did this exact thing for Halo 3 and 4's remake, I would feel the same way, because again, all the mysticism from the Forerunners is completely gone, replaced with this generic blurry stainless steel / chrome science fiction-y steel plating. It looks too new as well. That whole mysterious sense of something ancient that has been there for God knows how many millennia is totally gone. And the interiors and exteriors are exactly like this all over the place. It's just such a shame. Is this what the newly rebranded Halo Studios means when they say campaign evolved? It's grabbing assets that they already used in previous games, shove them into Unreal Engine 5, crank that shit up to generic photorealism and ditch all sense of art direction and identity from the originals? Voila, here's the remake of the first Halo game. Oh, I'm sorry, were you expecting something loyal to the actual first game? Were you expecting a remake that tries to refocus Halo on the lessons lost along the years by 343? Were you expecting this rebranding of that studio to mean that new directions would be taken to revamp Halo and usher great new things? Well, too bad. Let's just get on with it and dive further into the meat and potatoes, but just as a little reminder, if you guys find yourselves enjoying the video along the way, giving it a like or commenting is a huge help. Let's carry on with the visuals and then we'll get to the gameplay next. At first glance, this game looks gorgeous. It's all modern and shiny, it's everything that we've come to expect from games in Unreal Engine 5, which we've been getting a lot of. Unfortunately, that also comes with the same issues that have been noticed in other Unreal Engine 5 games. A lot of the environments are really blurry or muddy, it's tough to pick the right word. There's weird lighting issues where it makes things look even blurrier, there's a notable blotchiness in the environment that really pops anytime you go inside a Forerunner structure. It's even worse while you're moving around, creating these strange streaks across your screen. I recorded this clip to hopefully be able to show you, though video compression and YouTube compression might make that challenging, but basically, it's a big issue in interiors. Outside is where the game looks its best, but even then it's not something that I personally can find much excitement in. It may be different for you guys, but I don't have the nostalgia bone for these games. I played the first one around 6 years ago, so that whole thing of seeing old familiar places from my childhood rebuilt in new graphics just isn't there for me. I also have to be honest and say that I don't feel impressed by any of this. I saw this post, for example, this guy like, oh my god, there's no way to describe how good Campaign Evolved looks without it making it sound like a sponsored tweet. I don't see it. I could sit here and gush about how nice the water looks, how pretty it is to see the waves hitting the shore, how beautiful the skybox looks, how the sand is sandy, I guess, how you leave your footsteps in the sand, how the ghost's thrusters melt the snow underneath. But I just don't really care that much about that crap. In fact, I don't even have any footage of my own of the ghost doing that. I just don't care. I'm playing Halo. There's like 30 Covenant assholes all over this ridge. I'm not about to stop and look at the damn snow to see if my vehicle is leaving a trail or not. Plus, it's just default Unreal Engine 5. Even low-budget games in Unreal Engine 5 look good. This is from Echoes of the End. It's a really rough game, dude. And if you want to pan the camera around and gush at the visuals, you can, because, again, it's just default Unreal Engine 5 photorealism. You get to see shit like this every other week. And of the ones that I saw, this one isn't even that good. For example, last year's Mafia: The Old Country had way more impressive attention to detail. And of course, besides that, there's the issues that I mentioned in the last chapter, where the art direction is gone, the colorization of the first Halo is gone. They kinda just took all that stuff from the original and said fuck it before throwing all of it in the trash. All this here with beautiful lush green fields, the rocky slopes lit up by this warm sunlight, the picture-perfect beachy shores of the Silent Cartographer mission, it all just looks like everything else now. I don't like to be Uncle Ruckus all the time, but it is what it is. I felt like I was doing a chore, and it sucks too because when I launched it, I genuinely thought I was going to have fun. I thought this remake was going to be an easy W for both Xbox and Halo Studios. I mean, it's such a basic game to get right, it's old as hell, there's a noticeable lack of details due to tech limitations, which means you don't have 300,000 things on screen you have to get right at every given time, but I guess something in the direction of the project just didn't click, at least with me. There's a lot of people trying to be positive, they look at people being negative and they don't understand it, they think it's all grifting or whatever, but honestly, I don't even like requesting game keys when I know that I'm walking into a mess. I didn't request a key for 1348X Voto or for Mixtape, for example, because I knew I was wading into sewage, and so I don't know, a part of me just feels wrong asking for a key when sometimes these things are handled by, separate marketing companies or middlemen who don't even look at the channel, they just look at the numbers and they give people keys. This is how it feels things work primarily on Keymailer, which by the way is actually exactly how it should be, because then it's unbiased. You just do your work, you grow your channel, and then you have higher chance of getting game keys for making content, no matter what that content is. That's how it should go, instead of how it goes on Twitter, where a shill with like 200 subscribers gets free keys for major new AAA releases simply because the community managers saw the shill's profile and liked all the positive vibes and correct ideological stances. But then I, on the other hand, with over 30,000 subs, get nothing because the community manager doesn't like my tone or the suspicious lack of pronouns or flags in my bio, or doesn't like that I spend a lot of my time criticizing big companies like Xbox, like PlayStation, like Rockstar, etc. All in all, I get it, just is what it is, and I understand that I don't exactly go out of my way to make myself more marketable or whatever, but I just can't help it, man. I'm a shitposter at heart. But with that said, I'm also a shitposter with a heart, so no, I don't personally like to ask for keys when it's games that I might crash out on or just generally be negative about. It feels kinda dirty, feels like a bit of an asshole move in those cases, so I don't request keys. If I just so happen to do so, like in this case, I will not be dishonest, I'll tell you my true feelings, but if I can avoid this, then I will. You know, sure, I might be a bit harsh and put out some tough love, but at least I'll pay for my own damn copy. At least you got my money. So with that said, I could be focusing on those positive things, and believe me, the game does have positive things. Master Chief's design is good, for example, it's very faithful. Captain Keyes and Sergeant Johnson look great. The Marines look good. The aliens look dope too. Some of them are ported from Halo Infinite, or at least they use that as a baseline, and then they tweak it to make them pop a bit more. The guns look great too. The ship at the beginning, the Pillar of Autumn, looks gorgeous, and in several places they actually fixed the things that they screwed up in Halo Anniversary, which is notorious for making things way too bright and misunderstood. Again, the same issue where in the original it's like, hey, look at this cool ancient alien structure, and then 343 or whoever the hell it was that made Anniversary comes in and smears shit all over the screen going, ain't that better? Ain't that better? I made everything brighter and I shoved in unnecessary details into simple looking structures. Ain't that better? And it's like, no, it's not better. It's ugly. So thankfully in Halo Campaign Evolved, they do fix some of those Anniversary problems where in interiors there was way too much light and way too much visual clutter, robbing the Forerunner structures of their ominous identity. But at the same time, of course, it wasn't enough, because in outside areas we have the issues that I already mentioned previously. One thing they totally botched, by the way, is Cortana. Most character models were done really well, but for her...
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
The interesting thing is that they didn't stick to the original design here either. Cortana was very different all the way back then. Instead, the developers wanted to go for the more established light blue sci-fi girl looking thing from later games, which is totally fine. But instead of going for the fan favorite version from Halo 4, they made this. And it just looks off. Her face looks unnaturally and unappealingly elongated. They also add unnecessary details like that classic nasolabial folds or whatever it's called near the nose and the mouth. Modern game developers love to do this now for some stupid reason. It's like they want to show off graphical detail in the new video game. But all that fucking ends up happening is you're making your characters look older and uglier for no reason. It's even more ridiculous when considering that it's a digital construct, not a real person. The haircut ends up looking like a Karen wig because of this elongation of her face too. So GG to Halo Studios. You know, you could have done this design for Cortana. It was literally right there. You sure as shit had no problems using other assets from older Halo games, but nah, this one was too much. This one straight up violated Xbox's stupid ethics policies against body proportions on female characters. Either that or Halo Studios has its own cabal of Karens indoors, making sure no one has any fun anymore.
One of the keys to the success of the story is we didn't pump a lot of time into figuring out who the Master Chief was and why he was a ghost in the shell. We thought he is a husk. He's a big green suit of armor that you move around.
Master Chief is human. He's not a machine. He's not a set of armor with a big weapon. He's a human with resilience.
So yeah, you're gay.
I wonder what the shills are saying about this too. I really do. For the Forerunner stuff, they come into my comment sections like, but Des. Actually, I wish that they would be like, but Des. They're more like, hey, you fucking grifter. They already used these designs before. What are they saying about Cortana? Does the same line of thinking not apply here too? Where it's like, hey, 343, it could use, Halo 4's design. No, I guess not. I guess when it comes to defending Halo, you can bring up older games. When it comes to criticizing it, you can't bring anything up. Any criticism is forbidden, because if too much criticism happens, then Xbox is going to get rid of 343, and there won't be any more Halo anymore. And golly gee, wouldn't that be terrible? I mean, after all, Halo is so good these days, it's in such a good position. So to close off the visual section of this video, were the visuals evolved? No, not at all. Campaign Evolved stands as a monument to what happens when you replace art direction with Unreal Engine 5's photorealism. Every bit of significance, the ominous feeling of this ring out in the middle of a solar system, something you land on in an emergency to escape an attack from the Covenant, something you know nothing about, and the more and more you learn about it once you have landed on the ring, the deeper you explore this place, the more you find out about its purpose, plus its secret that it is hiding deep down below the goddamn, well, I was gonna say below the earth, but it's not earth, right? It's all artificial. It's a ring. All of that was complemented by the art direction. And let's not forget the music, of course. You were in an ominous, strange, uninhabited place. Now, instead, it looks like a fucking tourist destination. There's even locations that were natural, like rock bridges and etc., and for some reason, the developers decided that they would make them artificial bridges. Out of the same material the rest. I have no fucking clue why they would do this. And all in all, people can point at me and say, well, why do you care? It's something so small. Well, guys, it's because when a lot of little small things pile up, they become big things. Big things that show that 343, after years of making Halo games, still doesn't fucking understand Halo. But Days, what about the gameplay? Well, fellas, the gameplay is a bit of a mixed bag too. This remake released with a bunch of problems that have been making people get really pissed off. Some more than others, because some people bought the early access version of this game, because of course Xbox went ahead and did a premium edition like that. I mean, of course, you gotta make money. Well, what are you gonna do, work for it? What are you gonna do, you put multiplayer on this? Nah, fuck that. It's far easier to try leeching off of whales with FOMO. So anyway, some morons took the bait, they bought it, then they tried to play it, but it didn't work. Some of them was because of server outages. They hit the Xbox Live service. Now you could say, but Des, why would server outages impact a single player game? That's a great question, Jarvis. Well, it's because you have to be connected to the internet and log in order to play it. Even on PC, you have to get yourself a Microsoft Xbox account and link it to Steam, otherwise your single player game just doesn't work.
Fuck Microsoft!
Single player campaign game that has zero online functionality will not run. But sure, then these companies are totally not trying to herd us all into a future where they can disable our access to our purchases. Anyway, so that happened. Server outages got people who chipped in more money to play early to not be able to play early at all. Besides that, there were also people who got another bug where they would try to play it, but an error screen would come up saying that they are too early. I don't even know how this happens, but it is pretty poetic. Thanks for the money, chump, now wait like everyone else. And even Steam had a weird bug where instead of launching the game, it would launch the digital art book DLC menu. People had to figure out that in order to play it, they had to uninstall the digital art book so that the game would launch normally. These were obviously annoying, but sadly, it gets worse. Technical issues have also hit players with hard crashes, frame rate problems, stuttering when loading crap, basically basically to save you and me some time so you can focus on the meat and the potatoes of the game, it's everything that you've heard before when it comes to Unreal Engine 5 games. It usually hits hardest on PC. I'm totally unaware of how the game works on console right now. I didn't get one of those versions, but usually on console with Unreal Engine 5 problems, the way that it tends to go is the game is better optimized over there, but looks even blurrier than on PC because of how much lower the devs have to tweak the settings or how much more post-processing stuff they have to put on top of the game to make it look smoother. And of the people it hits harder on PC, it's very variable. Some get very little issues at all, and others are totally cooked. Obviously, this is also dependent on hardware. Some people have PCs that are so good they are able to power through any issues that the Unreal Engine 5 may have. Personally, it was a bit of both for me. There was some annoying stuttering in some sections, but thankfully no massive crash events. Though to be fair, I also didn't do any extreme testing. I played the game, beat it in about 11-12 hours, I also did the side campaign thing, and then I switched it off and I haven't gone back. The gunplay on the other hand feels fine. Some stuff that feels really good is hit feedback on most weapons. There are some that feel even better than in the original, such as the shotgun, which feels amazing to blast Flood and elites with. It's especially satisfying when you hit those headshots and you hear their shields breaking. When you got impactful feedback, you got yourself gunplay that feels good. Though other weapons feel the opposite way. In the original, I make a lot of use out of the plasma pistol and the plasma rifle, but in the remake I avoided them. When it comes to the plasma pistol, it just doesn't shoot as fast as the other one did, or at least it doesn't feel like it does. In the OG it felt lighter. Now it feels a bit heavier, but not necessarily more powerful. For the rifle, shit, you know, I'll just let some clips speak for themselves. I feel like I'm just blasting these guys straight on their heads at times and they just don't die. I tried the game out in different difficulties, all of them except legendary, and even in the lower difficulties these guns feel kinda weak now, whereas in the original they felt great to use. Anyway, on the other hand, in the original I barely used the Needler. I really hated it. But on the remake here, I used it quite often. They made it feel a lot more consistent to get those consecutive hits that result in those blasts, and the blasts give out some really great feedback visually and audibly. But on the other hand, the Magnum is something that I don't use as much anymore because it feels significantly weaker than in the original. The regular assault rifle is different, it shoots accurately now, it no longer fires off in a circular radius, it hits exactly where you are aiming, which is a game design choice that some fellas might not be into, but it did make it very satisfying to use. This remake also adds multiple new weapons from across the franchise, such as the SMG, the beam sniper rifle, the Sentinel beam, which I guess is not exactly new to this game, but sort of, the big green cannon thing, the energy sword from the elites, and then a few more that are only found in the bonus mission campaign, like the Brute plasma rifle, the Spiker, the Needle rifle, and the Battle rifle. Besides these new additions, new enemies were also added to the game from other Halo games. I think this kind of stuff is fine so long as it doesn't fumble with the lore, which I admittedly don't know deeply enough to be able to tell you guys whether anything is being broken or not. But from a gameplay perspective, more enemy variety is always good. Beyond all this stuff, the game also added a bunch of hidden skulls that come with gameplay modifications. You know, enhancements and sandbox tweaks, modifiers to enemy spawns, things that make things harder, things that make things easier, things that add cosmetic elements like ribbons going off and shit whenever you blast enemies. There's chaotic skulls that make grunts blow up, there's skulls that change the gravity, so on and so forth. Some of these are not new, but they are here in the remake now and you can use them however you want. You can also use this new mode called Campaign Remix, where in each level the game chooses a few random skulls to activate. I'm gonna be real, fellas, a lot of this sounds just fine, but I straight up do not care. These are basically there for you to just keep replaying the campaign, and I'm not gonna do that. If I want to replay Halo 1, I'm just going to play Combat Evolved. I would have preferred much more if 343 had made a more loyally accurate remake of the game than throw all of this stuff on top of it, and obviously I would have preferred much more if they had done multiplayer. Like, all I want to do is play some Halo multiplayer. Are you seriously going to force me to buy Halo Infinite to play the most recent version of that? I would try the ones in the Master Chief Collection, but I don't know, the game is old as hell by now, so I assume the lobbies are empty. Let me know in the comments about that. I just really would like to try it out. I never played Halo multiplayer. This would have been such a perfect opportunity to do that. It might even sell some copies of the game just off of the multiplayer alone, but I guess not. So as a standalone game, Halo Campaign Evolved is fine. It's functional, it's like a 5 out of 10 when it works. The Unreal Engine 5 is very shaky, you guys gotta make your own assessments based on the hardware that you have. But assuming it works for you, it's an average pew-pew adventure in Unreal Engine 5 graphics. The real question is, how down bad are you as a, Halo fan of the original or a new player wanting to get into Halo? 5 out of 10 feels like too much of a jab. I'm sorry, I can't say that it's all that much better than that, because there's a lot in it that is awkward. Line deliveries, pieces of dialogue that were written differently, some scenes have weird pacing where the characters sorta stop between sentences. Again, the campaign was definitely not evolved. Much was left on the table in terms of what makes a good remake. The only good parts in the game come from the original and they were not enhanced. But in a way, I kinda feel like we should be thankful for it, because if they had tried to enhance it by adding more to it or try to revisualize the original's meaning, speaking, they probably would have fucked that up really badly, given the terrible quality of the original bits of work that they did for the bonus campaign missions and to complement other scenes. Like, I don't know, just look at this one. It's just a few soldiers holding off enemies by a door. I don't know why they added this. Why does it look so lame? It's giving "let me whip up some quick trash to place here" vibes. This scene introducing Captain Johnson in the bonus mission is also weird.
Just couldn't save any from me, could you? Been a while since I gotta take old Sophie out for a spin. Now you ready to get to it?
Why does it feel so artificial? It's like it's not being written as a thing that's happening in the story, it's being written as if these are characters in the video game, which, fair enough, they literally are, but this is why these developers keep failing at making Halo work. Halo and so many other games across the industry. It's an industry-wide problem where the writing, the directing, and the effort put into framing, like video game cinematography, is bottom of the barrel garbage. This one is even worse.
Hold your fire, my children. Have you enjoyed your stay so far, Demon? Had you and your companion given word of your arrival, I would have arranged a tour.
Is that what you call it?
I call it many things, Demon. Here you can observe the true beauty of the Covenant. Our collective strength, a reflection of each member's devotion. The tenacity of the Ungoi. The cleverness of the Kigyar. The Sangheili. Long our partners since the Writ of Union, the burning edge of the Covenant's blade. And the Jiralhane. What they lack in mind, they make up for in muscle. But under our guidance, my guidance, their rage can be controlled, reshaped. Are you no different, Demon?
Okay, Mr. Monologue. Sorry to interrupt, but we're on the clock.
Dude just stood there and made a Reddit TED Talk presentation about his crew of morons, and meanwhile, the Master Chief and Sergeant Johnson are just standing there and looking at it go down while their job is to capture the dingleberry in the middle. Then there's this silly shootout. I like to look at the aliens individually. Like, what are they doing? Who framed this? Like, this is so bad, guys. What's happening to this industry, dude? Why are so many of these elite studios that are at the top of the food chain, producing such weak crap? Like, I can excuse this when it's AA studios or indie studios because they don't have the sauce and the spaghetti to make things happen. But at this level, this is what you can make? So this is the kind of stuff that should probably make us feel fortunate that they left most of the story alone, but at the same time, this is the remake of a game, and so we should judge it based on that too, and that complicates things a bit. For PlayStation players, this is it. It's all they have to be able to experience Halo, but players on PC and Xbox have the Master Chief Collection, which already dropped all the older Halo games perfectly and smoothly playable with a nice graphical retouch that you can disable on the fly if you want the full original art direction. And so, as a new or returning fan, do you get the Master Chief Collection, which has this game and a bunch of others plus multiplayer for $40, which by the way can also be found as low as $10 on sales, or do you buy the new remake at $60 or $70, depending on region, that doesn't have multiplayer. And for me, the choice is really clear. It's the collection. Even if the collection was the same price, it would still be the collection, because it's the better package. And as a remake, this doesn't do anything other than giving you better water graphics.
Damn, look at the water dev.
No, I know.
Wow.
Look at the wave. Yeah, the little waves coming up.
Wow. Damn, water dev. Hold on, walk in the water. Don't kill me, please. Just walk through it. Look at the ripples around you.
Oh my god.
Right?
Wait, hold on. We gotta do this.
That's right, guys, we managed to bring Shroud back one more time. Well, that and the new bonus missions, of course. Quick review of the bonus missions. I'll get to the cringe character in a second. Structural...
Not bad, Spartan. Almost starting to believe the propaganda.
You guys better wait for that one. Structurally speaking, it's about 3 or 4 new missions in one quick campaign package. It's about 2 or 3 hours of gameplay, a couple of sections were alright, ship interior designs were cool, in the end you'd get to do some space combat, and at first when I saw this I was like, hey nice, something different. But then I realized how boring it was the longer it went on. Seriously, there's zero difficulty. Zero. You just fly around and you shoot some hostile ships that have brain-dead AI. Seriously, the space combat in Star Wars Outlaws is 10 times better, and if something Ubisoft is making is 10 times better than what you're doing, you are cooked, my friend. And that's it, that's the bonus missions of the campaign Evolved. It was basically just more Halo campaign Evolved, except pointless. I don't know how it can be possible for a studio to be locked onto a single franchise for so long and still not be able to make something that slaps, but yet here we are. And I don't want to be a jerk either, because I understand how difficult it can be to remake something. At the end of the day, if you change too much, the complaints are going to be that it isn't faithful to the original. And if you don't change enough, then it's that the game didn't evolve and it feels old or whatever. There's a certain balance that needs to be struck, and I admit it, it's not easy. Then there's the fact that this doesn't even apply to every new game. Some games require more changes than others because they feel too old to play, but again, change too much and you might just ruin specific intended mechanics. Again, I get it, it's very difficult to make everyone happy. But at the end of the day, the majority of what we have here with this remake is a mixed bag that culminates in a very mid experience where the very best part of it is the story that the original game told, and everything else surrounding it is plagued by narrative dissonance where the setting and the mission do not match the atmosphere and the environments, plagued by a deep misunderstanding, or maybe not misunderstanding, but desire to change the original significance of what the Halo rings are and how the tone of the mission should be, plagued by the same thing in relation to the Forerunners, plagued by a desire of making video gamey things less video gamey, like for example the Marines. They were very chatty in the original. It made them feel real, but in a video gamey way. They reacted not just to you, but to each other too. There were little human things about them, where they could accidentally shoot each other in a crossfire, and they would then acknowledge that they did, apologize for doing it, and the guy who got shot or his buddies beside him would acknowledge that too with lines like, hey, watch your fire, or friendly. They felt alive, and so for the player, it's like I was leading a group of men in battle who relied on me to keep them alive. And since they could die because I had HP, it was fun for me to see how long I could keep them alive with me as a bit of a challenge. In the remake, on the other hand, they're just blank NPCs. It doesn't feel the same way. There's even a clip circulating online of how soldiers reacted while riding in the Warthog. If you jumped and gained air, they would react hyping it up, while the new ones just sit there like schmucks. Stuff like this is the kind of complaint that once again gets the usual suspects coming out like, oh my god, it doesn't even matter, oh my goodness, this is such a nitpick, holy shit, just play the game, man, who cares? But it does matter. When a bunch of these issues build up, they represent a much bigger problem, not just with the remake, but with modern game development as a whole. All the attention and all the time gets poured into making shiny, hyper-realistic visuals and shit, instead of making the games fun. But returning to the point, plagued by wanting to make video gamey things not video gamey, and then making not video gamey things be video gamey, like for example the Sergeant Johnson clip. You're supposed to be telling a story of a risky mission into enemy territory, and you got all these cringe voice lines as if they're speaking to an audience rather than each other. And it's even cringier when these new writers and shit try to aura farm. Like they can't aura farm anymore, it just looks like Reddit dialogue.
Chief, you ever get tired of being the strong, almost silent type?
No.
And speaking of cringe, oh my goodness, this is one of the things that drives me nuts the most, and it's also the toughest points to bring up because it immediately gets people mad at you for even just saying it. But here we go. As you definitely have seen circling online by now or in other videos, or if you didn't, no problem, I'll let you know what's up, there's been screenshots and clips of cringe. Screenshots of Cortana's face have circled about, usual spat happens online where people are getting offended that the character's looks is being put into question. It's like, how dare you notice that for the 300th time in a row, yet another female character is made to look weird, instead of just the easiest job on the planet that every game developer was able to get done about 15-20 years ago without fail. Suddenly, 20 years later, oh, what happens? Oh, no, it's not on purpose, guys. It's just a fumble, guys. It's just a mistake. Why are we saying that this is being done on purpose? Maybe it's just a little error or what? No. Okay? I'm not even going to get into that sewage of an argument. It's on purpose, it obviously is. But Cortana aside, this is another point of cringe that was introduced. It's some hard-ass girl boss type of lady that was put in the bonus missions. Her name is Williams and she's an incredibly obnoxious character. Straight up dislikable. The dialogues with her are awful. They are the usual nonsense we've come to expect from modern writers who for some reason just can't help themselves. They always gotta add this sort of character archetype and these awkward interactions that are supposed to paint them in a badass light without noticing that what they're actually doing is the opposite.
Thanks, Sergeant Major. We owe you one. Didn't think we'd ever see any of our own again. I'm Lieutenant Williams, Tiger Company.
From the 92nd Shock Troops Battalion.
One and the same. Honored you've heard of us, Sergeant Major. We certainly know who you are.
The honor's mine, LT. Glad we could help.
Robbins, take the team and give me a perimeter check.
You don't seem as impressed as the rest of your crew.
No, Sergeant Major, I'm not. Takes more than fancy armor and a good PR campaign to impress me.
Chief, let's get to the bridge.
Affirmative. Exit should be this way.
Not bad, Spartan. I'm almost starting to believe the propaganda.
All right, Chief, what's next?
What's the plan, Chief?
We get the data and exfiltrate.
Lieutenant, we're about to head straight into the middle of the hive to get that honey we came for. The Chief and I will handle that side of things.
We're combat ready. We're not about to sit this out.
Sit it out, my armor-plated ass. Lieutenant, I can assure you there will be no sitting. Chief and I will secure the bridge. We need your crew to head straight to the nearest hangar bay and secure our ride out of here.
Now that's more like it. Give him hell, Sergeant Major. We'll keep the engine running.
Nice work.
Thanks. Spartans aren't the only badasses in the UNSC. So, did you take out the Prophet?
Negative.
Whatever the Covenant's working on here needs to be stopped before it can go any further. We need to destroy this ship.
She's annoying, she has no respect for the chief. People online love to defend this by saying only tourists are mad because she's an ODST, and ODSTs have issues with Spartans. It's part of the lore, but everyone knows that by now. It's not like it's deep lore or anything like that, and it doesn't do anything to justify this either, because this is just ass for the sake of ass. It's not a realistic nor satisfying interaction. We don't learn anything specific about Williams and her state of mind. We don't even get a significant view into why she feels the way that she does for Spartans. What if you're a new player? You're starting with the first game. You don't know what the hell is going on. You might not even know that this is an ODST because they're not even wearing their signature helmets or anything like that. Ideally, in a writer's room, the solution for a character like this is you give them depth and you give them the reason why they feel a certain way. You also give them grace so that it doesn't come across as abrasively to the player. This way, you establish a reason why they are justified in their suspicions or dislikes of Spartans, but you do it in a way that the player can understand their side of it. And simultaneously, you also add a response from the chief. Whatever you want. It can be a clapback, it can be a dismissal, it can be a high road response, whatever you want, but at least do something instead of just making the moron stand there like a moron. Because what we get here is we come to save this absolute idiot and her crew because they were in distress. Then we get here and we have this muscle chud Foyd spurging out about her savior, being obnoxious with dialogues throughout the campaign, and then later posing in the middle of a room as if I was watching some slop-ass Marvel film. That's why people feel it is deliberately made to be an obnoxious, annoying girl boss. It's because it's indistinguishable from all the other unlikable girl bosses.
Yeah, why don't you come talk shit when your balls drop?
There's no depth, there's no characterization, there's no meat to bite into when it comes to ODST and Spartan relations. It's literally just a shit character being shit, and then shills come out and call you a tourist because, actually, the writing is meant to be terrible because ODSTs and Spartans have beef. This character ends up sacrificing herself along with the rest of the crew. It's meant to be this, you know, sad moment. It's meant to imply respect, because it was supposed to be your job. You were the one who was supposed to go down with the ship, but she volunteered. She goes, nah, dude, you know, we'll do it. This is what it is. Name a building after me or something. You know, that's the kind of thing that they got going on there. But because of these horrible interactions throughout the mission, I just didn't care. It's like, what's that? You want to blow yourself up instead? Ho, ho, ho! Is it Christmas already? Besides that kind of thing, we also get way more little camera shots of other characters in the game. Not anyone significant necessarily, just background characters. Some of the original scenes were characters standing in place or moving around a little bit while the camera did wide shots of the room that they were in. Now those are gone, and as a replacement we have more focused shots, and so sometimes they complement them while the dialogue is going on with shots of other characters in the room. And they love to show a lot of female soldiers, female crewmen, well, I guess it's not crewmen anymore, huh? It's crew persons now. They replaced pilots, officers, etc. I mean, one of them was even a developer. They replaced this pilot here that shows up in this scene with Captain Keyes, and originally it was a face scan of a developer of the game. Now it's just a random black woman. So there you go. This was also done to the very Marines that accompany the Master Chief. Sometimes it's even a straight 50-50 split. Other times it's even more females than males serving, like the crew of the ODST woman that we just mentioned. There are about 5 soldiers, 3 of them are women, 2 of them are men. And well, boys, immersion-wise, it ain't very good. Like, I'm sorry if this is too chuddy for some people listening, maybe you don't care personally, but me, when I'm playing Halo and I'm out here taking on armies of incredibly strong, organized, and dangerous aliens in a mysterious structure out in space that is housing a parasitical abomination that takes over any host's body and turns them into monstrosities, yeah, I'm gonna say it's not very immersive to be surrounded by female soldiers. It's even weirder when I hear them screaming in battle. I feel weird. I feel like I should be protecting them or something. Instead of leading the squad of soldiers down a hall, it's like you're exploring in the Covenant ships, you know, blasting at the aliens, and then you hear women going, ah! and you're kind of just like, oh shit, are there hostages around here? But no, it's just your female crew persons accidentally shooting each other. But anyway, I don't necessarily focus on these things too much in my reviews, but if you are a viewer who does take that into account, then there you go, these types of things are in the game too, so make up your mind about it. The thing that's most annoying about it for me personally, that I was going to mention a bit ago, is that we clearly have several elements in this remake that are poorly done. Several elements that were either unnecessarily changed or lazily imported from previous Halo games where they didn't even care about whether they fit or not. It gives this image of a remake that wasn't really given all that much attention. But then you see these additions, and that's when you realize that, well, no, wait a minute, they did add stuff. They did give attention to some things. They did have some stuff that they believed was either wrong or outdated or lacking, and so they decided that they wanted to add more to it or change certain aspects of it for the evolved definitive version of this game. But instead of it being useful stuff that complements the original, or instead of it being fun stuff that brings back the old school Bungie spirit of focusing more on the gameplay, it's useless shit from that same previously shown list from Xbox, except now, instead of the body proportion part for Cortana, it's the one below that, about diversity quotas. Because of course, that's what we need in a Halo remake, that's what we need to focus on in order to shape the future of Halo with. At the end of the day, in a meta sense, I don't even know why this remake was greenlit in the first place. I would rather have had a new Halo game. Instead, this just makes it look like 343, aka Halo Studios, is creatively bankrupt. They don't know where to go with the story. They don't know why modern Halo isn't working out, so they're going back to retell the old stories that put the franchise on the map in Unreal Engine 5. They already teased Halo 2's remake. Halo's cultural identity is kinda dead right now. It's not a household name anymore. It's a name that a lot of OGs recognize, of course. It's a name that has a lot of potential buried away somewhere, but in terms of it being a name that gets people hyped right now, it's just not there. If Xbox wanted to introduce this franchise to people on PlayStation and revive it, then they should have just released the Master Chief Collection as is, while getting the Halo Studios, or frankly someone else at this point, to make some new Halo games. Because as it stands, I don't even see this working to get PlayStation people on board. It feels off, it feels outdated, it has cringe in it, and let's face it, if you want a sequel, you're still years off, because even though they're just remaking these games, they still take forever to do it. I don't think even the PlayStation crowd will be very impressed by this one. Something to understand about the PlayStation people is that they did away with first-person shooter franchises a while ago already. Killzone Shadowfall was the last one, and that was a PS4 launch title. There have been people like this dude crying and whining that the Halo franchise will be destroyed and it's all the fault of Halo bros. Quote, Halo fans are the most miserable, unappreciative fans in the world, and if Halo dies, it's because nothing will ever be good enough for them. Like, what are you talking about? It's the same thing that people were already saying about Star Wars fans. The exact same. And the response is the exact same too. I'm sorry, brother, but I'm not going to eat slop just so that I can keep getting more slop. If Halo Studios is incapable of producing good games to the point where Halo might die, then let it die. Who gives a shit? That's honestly what the games industry needs more than anything. It needs a lot of the status quo in the AAA to die off, so that better studios can come along and make better games. And on top of that, they have to bring in their patented dogshit writing and lack of talent for direction and put it in the new remake as well. And of course then they also have to justify the dozens of departments in these companies caked with Karens that don't make nor play video games by injecting modern ideological sludge like the restrictions to the female body proportions and the diversity quotas. And if you complain about it, then you are a miserable, unappreciative Halo fan, or like this guy says, you are a grifter. Even in 2026, we have to keep playing to this ridiculous game of pretending like the reason people don't like DEI stuff in gaming is because they're chuds, bigots, grifters, or whatever, rather than the basic fact that it's a destructive industry practice that has provided nothing of value to anyone. It doesn't provide good writing, it doesn't provide good character design, it doesn't provide good themes or stakes or tone, it just provides shit. And somehow, despite all the failures across the industry, we can still sadly see that that'll be a focus point of Halo going forward. Good luck. I'll make sure not to ask for a key next time. With that said, fellas, that's the end of my yapping for this video. Thanks for watching, like the video if you enjoyed it, send me a strongly worded super chat of $50 if you didn't, and subscribe if you're new. Alright, that's it. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to play Halo 2 and experience Peak. Take care out there.